Hey, welcome back to Daily Motivation Secrets. Today, I want to share something that has had a profound impact on the lives of many of my clients over the years. If you've ever experienced anxiety or if you know someone who wants you to know something important, there's a root cause behind it. And trust me, it's something most of us don't even realize. I'm here to promise you that once you understand this root cause, the way you look at anxiety will change and you will finally know how to overcome it. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working with over 1,000 clients. People from all walks of life with different backgrounds, different struggles. But one thing that's always been consistent is this: they've all dealt with anxiety in one form or another. No matter what their circumstances were, anxiety was a common thread in their stories. But here's the thing: as we dug deeper into their struggles, we uncovered something that connected all of them. So today, I want to take you on a journey that could very well unlock the answers you've been searching for. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share with you might shine a light on something you've never even considered before. Body main content. Let's get straight to it. What is the real root cause of anxiety? Is it stress? Fear? Overwhelm? Yes, these things contribute to anxiety, but they're not the root cause. The deeper, more powerful cause is something that many of us don't realize: disconnection from yourself. Disconnection from yourself. Think about it. How often do you find yourself going through the motions, doing what everyone else expects, but not really checking in with your own feelings or desires? How often do you ignore your own needs because you're too busy trying to meet everyone else's? This disconnection creates a void within us. And what happens when we feel disconnected from ourselves? Anxiety creeps in. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a dark room, unsure of where to go, which direction to take. Anxiety is exactly like that. It's the fear of not knowing where to go, what to do, or who you even are anymore. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to your own heart? When was the last time you took a moment to really feel what you need, instead of just pushing forward, trying to meet expectations? This kind of disconnection is the root of so much anxiety. And here's the truth: you can reconnect with yourself. And when you do, anxiety will begin to lose its grip on you. The mind's obsession with certainty. Now, let's talk about the mind's need for certainty. We live in a world where we're constantly told to plan, to predict, to control. We want to know what's coming next. We want to feel in control of our lives. And the truth is, anxiety is often a result of the lack of control. When we can't predict the future or control every detail of our lives, our minds panic. It's like a survival instinct that goes into overdrive. How many times have you caught yourself spiraling in your thoughts, wondering, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I fail? What if they don't like me? This constant barrage of what-ifs creates a storm in your mind that triggers anxiety. What if, instead of constantly needing certainty, you could just let go and trust that things will unfold as they're meant to? What if, instead of worrying about what could go wrong, you started focusing on what could go right? The truth is, life is unpredictable, and it's okay. Once you accept this, anxiety won't have as much power over you. The fear of not being enough. Another massive trigger for anxiety is feeling like we're not enough. When you don't believe in your own worth, when you feel like you have to prove yourself to others, anxiety has a field day. It's a constant battle with your self-esteem. You start to worrying about how people see you, whether you'll be accepted, whether you're good enough. How many times have you felt anxious about doing something because you feared judgment? The fear of rejection or failure is one of the most powerful anxiety triggers. And guess what? It all comes back to your sense of self-worth. But here's the catch. What if you could stop measuring your worth based on external validation? What if you could accept that you are enough, just as you are? What if you could stand tall and believe that you are worthy of love, success, and happiness just because you exist? The illusion of control. Let's dive into another big one: the need for control. We live in a world that worships control. We're taught to take charge of everything: our careers, our relationships, our health, our futures. And while it's important to have some sense of direction, there's a fine line between healthy control and unhealthy obsession. The more we try to control every aspect of our lives, the more we invite anxiety in. Here's why: we can't control everything. Life doesn't follow a script. And the harder we try to grip tightly onto every little detail, the more we stress ourselves out. How often do you find yourself obsessing over something that's outside of your control? Whether it's the actions of other people, the way things are going to unfold in the future, or how others perceive you and you try to control those things. You're only setting yourself up for more anxiety. What if, instead of trying to control everything, you could surrender? What if you could embrace uncertainty and let life flow? You'd be amazed at how much lighter and freer you'd feel. And that's when the anxiety starts to fade away. Healing starts with awareness. So, now we know that the root of anxiety isn't just stress, fear, or external circumstances. It's a deeper issue: disconnection, fear of uncertainty, low self-worth, and the illusion of control. So, how do we heal from this? It all starts with awareness. You have to recognize when anxiety is showing up in your life and understand that it's not a sign of something bad happening in the future. It's simply a signal that you're disconnected from yourself. Once you understand this, you can start to reconnect. Begin with small, intentional steps. Ask yourself, what do I really need right now? What do I truly desire? Focus on being present, living in the moment, and allowing yourself the space to just be. The power of presence. One of the most powerful tools for managing anxiety is presence. Anxiety is a product of worrying about the future or regretting the past. But the present moment? That's where peace lives. Have you ever been so immersed in something, whether it's a hobby, a conversation, or just being in nature, that you completely lost track of time? That's the power of presence. And when you can bring that level of focus into your everyday life, anxiety will have nowhere to go. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to fully embrace the present moment, to stop worrying about what's coming next, and to just be here, right now? Conclusion. So, what can we take away from all of this? Anxiety isn't just about stress or fear. It's about disconnection, uncertainty, low self-worth, and the illusion of control. But here's the good news. You can change all of that. You have the power to reconnect with yourself, embrace the present, and release the need to control everything. Take a moment right now and ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to reconnect with myself? It could be as simple as breathing deeply for a few minutes, writing in a journal, or just sitting in silence and listening to your inner voice. Thank you for being here with me on Daily Motivation Secrets. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, you are not your anxiety. You are not defined by your fear. You have the power to heal, to grow, and to live the life you truly desire. Keep believing in yourself. See you in the next video. The root cause: it's not what you think. If you've ever struggled with anxiety, chances are you've heard the common explanations: stress, pressure, fear. But here's the thing: none of these are the true root cause of your anxiety. After working with so many clients over the years, I've come to realize that the real cause of anxiety is something far deeper, something most people don't even consider: disconnection from yourself. Think about it for a moment. When you feel disconnected from yourself, it means you're out of touch with your true feelings, your real desires, and your authentic self. It's like being in a room full of noise, but never hearing your own thoughts clearly. When this happens, your mind doesn't know where to go or what to do. You feel lost. And when we feel lost, anxiety fills that void. The deeper you drift away from who you really are, the more anxiety will creep in. It's like your mind is looking for something to hold on to, but it has nothing solid to grasp. So, instead of addressing that empty space, it distracts you with worrying and fear. Anxiety becomes the way your mind deals with feeling lost. Imagine this scenario. You've spent years running after other people's expectations. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone's needs have come first. And through it all, you've neglected to ask yourself, what do I truly want? What brings me joy? What makes me feel alive? Over time, you start feeling tired. You're worn out because you've been giving so much of yourself away, but you've never stopped to refuel. You don't even know what you need anymore. As a result, you feel disconnected, uncertain about your desires, and that uncertainty triggers anxiety. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to yourself? When did you last check in with your heart and mind, without distractions, without the noise of others? If you can reconnect with your true self, you'll start to notice a shift. Anxiety won't have as much room to thrive. Here's the truth: anxiety isn't the enemy. It's just a signal, a sign that you've lost touch with your inner self. When you begin to rediscover who you really are, anxiety starts to fade. And I promise, once you reconnect with yourself, you'll feel more grounded, more centered, and more at peace. The key isn't to fight anxiety directly, it's to nurture your relationship with yourself. Take a moment today and reflect on this. What do I truly need in my life right now? Instead of constantly running on autopilot, take a step back and ask yourself what would genuinely make you feel at ease. Reconnecting with yourself is the first step toward finding peace and clarity. This isn't just some abstract concept, it's something I've seen happen time and time again with my clients. The moment they start to look inward instead of outward, they begin to heal. They stop chasing external validation and start listening to the voice that has always been there, waiting to be heard. What if, right now, you gave yourself permission to take a break from the pressure of external expectations? What if, just for today, you could reconnect with your true desires and allow yourself to truly feel your emotions without fear? This act of self-connection could be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. The mind's fear of uncertainty. Let's talk about something that we all deal with, but few truly understand: uncertainty. Anxiety thrives in uncertainty. When we don't know what's coming next, when the future is unclear or feels out of our control, that's when our minds start to spin out of control. This isn't just some random pattern, it's deeply rooted in our survival instincts. Our brains are wired to anticipate danger, to prepare for the worst. So, when we face the unknown, our minds automatically jump to the worst-case scenarios. Have you ever found yourself caught in that spiral of what-if thoughts? What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not enough? What if I make a fool of myself? You start asking yourself these questions, and before you know it, your mind is racing, drowning in a sea of fears and doubts. The more you ask what if, the more those anxious thoughts take hold, and the more you get trapped in that endless loop of worrying and fear. Here's the thing about our minds: they crave certainty. We want to know that the future is safe, that things will work out. But life, as we all know, doesn't come with a guarantee. And when we try to control what's uncertain, it only fuels our anxiety. Think about it. Have you ever had an important event coming up, a presentation, an interview, or even just a first date, and instead of focusing on what you need to do to prepare, your mind spirals into the what-ifs. You start thinking about everything that could go wrong, every little detail that could be a potential failure. And before you know it, anxiety takes over. You can't even focus on what you're supposed to be doing because you're so consumed by the fear of what might happen. What if we could break that cycle? What if, instead of letting our minds run wild with worst-case scenarios, we allowed ourselves to accept that uncertainty is part of life? What if we could learn to live with the unknown, knowing that we don't have to have all the answers right now? Here's the secret: you don't need to have everything figured out. Yes, uncertainty can be uncomfortable. Yes, it can be scary. But it's also the very thing that opens the door to growth, to new possibilities, to the unknown opportunities that are just waiting for you to take that leap. Think about it. Every time you've stepped into something uncertain, whether it's a new job, a relationship, or even just a new routine, you were afraid at first. But you survived. In fact, you probably learned something new about yourself along the way. Instead of running from uncertainty, we need to embrace it. When we start to accept that we don't have control over everything, that's when we can free ourselves from the grip of anxiety. The mind doesn't have to have a guaranteed outcome for us to take action. Example: let's say you're preparing for a big presentation. Instead of worrying about all the things that could go wrong, what if I forget my lines? What if I get nervous? What if they don't like my idea? What if you focused on preparing to the best of your ability and then let go of the outcome? What if you trusted that you've done everything you can, and now it's time to just show up without needing everything to be perfect? What if, by letting go of the need for certainty, you actually opened yourself up to more peace of mind? You see, the more we resist uncertainty, the more it controls us. But when we choose to lean into it, to sit with it without fear, it loses its power. It no longer becomes something to avoid, it becomes something to navigate with courage and clarity. Ask yourself, how many times has your fear of uncertainty held you back? How many opportunities have you missed because you were too afraid of what might happen? Imagine if you could step forward, not with certainty, but with trust in yourself and the process. That's the key to breaking free from anxiety: the ability to face the unknown with confidence, knowing that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. The more we embrace uncertainty, the more we reclaim our peace. Anxiety only thrives when we resist the unknown. But when we open ourselves up to the possibility that things might unfold exactly as they're meant to, we give ourselves permission to breathe, to trust, and to move forward with confidence. So here's my challenge to you today. The next time uncertainty shows up in your life, whether it's a big decision, a new chapter, or just a moment of doubt, try something different. Instead of letting the what-ifs control you, try embracing the uncertainty. Take a deep breath, trust yourself, and move forward anyway. You might just be surprised at how much easier it is to navigate when you let go of the need for everything to be perfect. In the end, the real key to overcoming anxiety is not controlling the future, it's learning to live with the present moment, knowing that even in uncertainty, you are enough. You've got this. Self-worth and the grip of anxiety. Now, let's dive into one of the most significant, yet often overlooked factors contributing to anxiety: self-worth. Anxiety doesn't just come from stress or fear, it often stems from a deep-rooted belief that you're not enough. That feeling that you have to prove something to others or that you're constantly falling short of expectations. When you feel like you're not good enough or you're unworthy of love, success, or happiness, anxiety begins to thrive. It's like a shadow that follows you, always there, constantly reminding you of your perceived inadequacies. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you're just not measuring up? That fear of being judged, of being rejected, of not living up to the expectation whether from others or from yourself can be overwhelming. And here's the thing, anxiety becomes your shield against those fears. It's the mind's way of protecting you from the hurt, the judgment, and the vulnerability of feeling not enough. Let's think about this for a second. Have you ever had to speak in front of a group, maybe a presentation, a public speech, or even just meeting someone new and your mind raced with thoughts like, what if they think I'm not good enough? Or what if I mess up? What if I say something stupid? That's anxiety in action. The fear of judgment, of being less than, triggers that inner battle within you. That inner voice, the one whispering that you're not enough, makes the anxiety even more intense. It becomes a feedback loop. The more you fear judgment, the stronger your anxiety gets. It's as if the more you try to protect yourself, the more trapped you become in the cycle of worrying and self-doubt. Here's a powerful truth. Anxiety, when rooted in low self-worth, is a false belief. The reality is, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to live up to impossible standards to be worthy. Your value is inherent. It's built into you, not dependent on others' opinions or on what you've achieved. But how do we break free from this cycle? How do we stop allowing the fear of judgment to control our lives and our minds? Step 1. Challenge your inner critic. The first step is to recognize when your inner critic is taking control. That voice that says you're not good enough, you'll fail, or they won't like you, it's not the truth. It's just your fear speaking, and it's been conditioned into you over time. But you have the power to challenge it. The next time you hear that voice, ask yourself, is this thought based on fact, or is it just fear trying to protect me? Step 2. Reframe your thoughts. When you're feeling inadequate or anxious, try shifting your perspective. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, ask yourself, what's the best that could happen here? Focus on what you can control: the way you show up, the effort you put in, the honesty and authenticity you bring to the situation. When you reframe your thoughts, you take away the power of anxiety and reclaim your peace of mind. Step 3. Build your self-worth through action. The more you affirm your worth, the more your anxiety will begin to fade. But how do you do that? You do it through small, consistent actions. You do it by setting healthy boundaries. You do it by practicing self-compassion. You do it by reminding yourself daily that you are enough, just as you are. The more you act from a place of self-respect and self-love, the stronger your belief in your own worth becomes. And guess what? As your self-worth grows, anxiety starts to lose its grip on you. Example, let's say you have an upcoming job interview. Instead of spiraling into what if I mess up? Or what if they don't like me? Take a step back. Think about all the things you've accomplished to get to this point. Remember, they called you in for the interview because they saw something in you. You are worthy of this opportunity. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up and be yourself. Step 4. Let go of perfection. One of the most powerful ways to break free from the grip of anxiety is to embrace imperfection. We often feel anxious because we believe we have to be flawless. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. Every single person, no matter how confident they seem, has insecurities, doubts, and moments of self-criticism. What if you let go of the need to be perfect? What if you embrace the beauty in imperfection and realize that your flaws don't make you any less worthy, they make you human? Step 5. Surround yourself with support. Lastly, remember that you don't have to go through this journey alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who see your value, who encourage you to grow. When you're around people who believe in you, it's easier to believe in yourself. Anxiety thrives in isolation. It feeds on loneliness, fear, and self-doubt. But when you build a support system, when you share your struggles and receive encouragement, you can dismantle that anxiety piece by piece. Ask yourself, how much of your anxiety is rooted in the need for validation from others? How much of it comes from the fear of judgment, of not being enough? What would happen if you shifted your focus from seeking approval to simply trusting in your own worth? How would your life change if you truly believed that you are enough, no matter what anyone else thinks or says? Conclusion: your worth is inherent, not conditional. The reality is this: your worth isn't tied to your achievements, your social media following, or the opinions of others. Your worth is innate. It's something that cannot be taken away by failure or criticism. Once you understand and embrace this truth, you'll begin to release the anxiety that holds you back. When you stop seeking external validation and start recognizing your inherent value, you will feel lighter. The anxiety that once held you captive will start to fade, and you will step into your power. So, today, I challenge you to stop chasing perfection, stop worrying about judgment, and start embracing your true worth. You are enough. You always have been. And once you believe that, anxiety won't stand a chance. Thank you for tuning in. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you challenge your own self-doubt? How do you reclaim your self-worth in moments of anxiety? Share your journey in the comments, and remember, you're not alone on this path. Keep growing, keep evolving, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. See you in the next video. The power of letting go of control. We live in a world that constantly tells us to control everything. We're conditioned to manage our lives, our careers, our relationships, our health. We're told to be in charge, to make plans, to check off every box, and to make sure we know exactly what's coming next. But here's the catch: the more we try to control everything, the more anxiety creeps in. I'm sure you've experienced it before, that feeling of needing to control every detail, every moment of your life. But the truth is, the root cause of anxiety often lies in our desire to control the uncontrollable. And the irony? Life has a unique way of constantly reminding us that we can't control everything. It's as if life itself is saying, you don't have to have everything figured out. Think about it. How many times have you planned every little detail, only to have things fall apart at the last moment? You think you have everything under control until life throws you a curveball. Suddenly, your mind goes into overdrive, you feel overwhelmed, and anxiety takes over. Let's pause for a second and think about this. When was the last time you tried to control something that you really had no control over? Maybe it was your work, a relationship, or even the way others perceive you. You obsessively checked your phone, revisited every decision, and second-guessed yourself. In the end, things didn't go as planned, and you were left feeling anxious and powerless. Example: maybe you've been there before preparing for a big meeting, checking your notes over and over, thinking that if you could just get everything perfect, everything would be fine. But no matter how much you plan, life doesn't always follow the script. The meeting might go well, or it might not. But in those moments, anxiety thrives on the need to control. The more you try to force an outcome, the more anxious you become. What if I told you that letting go of control might actually be the key to reducing your anxiety? It might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes the best thing you can do is simply release the need to control every little aspect of your life. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control every outcome just sets us up for stress and frustration. Instead of trying to micromanage everything, what if we gave ourselves permission to trust the process, to let things unfold naturally, and to embrace whatever comes? Here's where it gets interesting. When we let go of control, we make space for peace. Yes, that's right. The moment we stop trying to control everything, we start to feel a sense of relief. It's like lifting a weight off your shoulders. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever felt lighter, more at ease, when you let go of the need to have everything planned and just let things happen? That feeling of relief when you stop obsessing over the what-ifs. But it's not just about releasing control in big moments. It's about recognizing that life itself is unpredictable and learning how to flow with it. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can learn to trust that even if things don't go as planned, we will be okay. Let me ask you this: how much energy are you wasting trying to control things that are out of your hands? How often do you find yourself worrying about things that haven't happened yet, or obsessing over past decisions? It's exhausting, isn't it? The truth is, the more we hold on to control, the more we block our own peace. Anxiety thrives on our attachment to control. When we constantly try to manage every detail of our lives, we create a fertile ground for anxiety to take root. But when we allow ourselves to let go, we take away that fuel, and anxiety has no choice but to dissipate. What if you could look at life as a river, flowing effortlessly, instead of a tightrope you have to walk on perfectly? When you stop seeing life as something you need to control and start seeing it as a journey of trust, that's when the magic happens. That's when you can start experiencing true freedom and inner peace. So, how do we start letting go of control? Step 1. Practice acceptance. The first step is to accept that we cannot control everything. Life is full of some good, some challenging. But the key is not to resist or fight against it. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging the present moment for what it is and trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. Step 2. Focus on what you can control. While we can't control everything, there are still things we can control. Start by focusing on those things. You can control how you react, how you take care of your body, and how you show up in the world. But you cannot control how others act, what the future holds, or every little detail of your day. Ask yourself, what are the things I have the power to change? And what do I need to let go of? When you focus your energy on what you can control, you'll find that anxiety becomes less overwhelming. Step 3. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the best tools we have for letting go of control. When you're mindful, you're not focused on what happened in the past or what might happen in the future. You're fully present in the moment, and that's where peace resides. By practicing mindfulness, whether through meditation, breathing exercises, or simply being present in your daily life, you can reduce the urge to control everything around you. The more you practice being present, the less your mind will focus on things that are out of your control. Step 4. Surrender to the flow of life. Lastly, it's important to surrender to the flow of life. This doesn't mean giving up, it means trusting that life has a way of unfolding as it should. When you stop trying to force everything, you'll start to notice that things start falling into place more effortlessly. The more you surrender, the more peaceful and balanced you'll feel. Imagine this: you're no longer fighting against life. You're not holding on to rigid plans or expectations. Instead, you're flowing with it, letting go of the need to control every outcome. How much lighter would that feel? How much less stress would you carry each day? Conclusion: the key to reducing anxiety and finding peace in your life is letting go of the need for control. Life will always have uncertainties, but when you release your grip on them, you'll find a sense of freedom and calm that you never thought possible. So, I challenge you today. Where in your life are you trying to control too much? What would happen if you let go just a little bit? Trust that you're strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. Thank you for joining me today. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you handle uncertainty in your life? How can you practice letting go of control this week? Share with me in the comments, and remember, you don't have to control everything. You're already enough as you are. See you in the next video. Breaking the cycle: how to start healing. So now that we've explored the root causes of anxiety, let's answer the million-dollar question. How do we break the cycle? How do we begin healing and reconnecting with ourselves? The journey starts with awareness. It all begins with recognizing when anxiety shows up in your life and understanding that it's not a sign of impending doom, it's a signal that you're disconnected. Anxiety is like your body's alarm bell, telling you that you've drifted away from your true self, from what really matters to you. Think about it for a moment. When does your anxiety really spike? Is it when you're trying to meet someone else's expectations? When you're running on autopilot, trying to please everyone, but not yourself? When you're so busy worrying about the future that you forget to ask, what do I really want right now? Recognizing these moments is the first step to breaking the cycle. The moment you feel that familiar tension, that feeling of overwhelm, pause and ask yourself, am I disconnected from what I truly want? Because here's the truth, anxiety doesn't come from a lack of control, it comes from a lack of connection. Once you realize that anxiety is telling you that something is out of alignment, you can begin to take the necessary steps to heal. And that healing begins with reconnecting with yourself. It's about finding out what truly brings you peace and joy, not what others think you should do or be. So, how do we do this? Step 1. Ask yourself, what do I really want? The first step in reconnecting with yourself is to ask a simple yet profound question. What do I really want? It's easy to get caught up in the hustle in the noise of everyone else's expectations. But what about your own desires? What brings you a sense of peace? Take a moment and think. What would make you feel truly at ease? Not just what others expect of you, but what you need to feel whole and fulfilled. This isn't about big, life-altering decisions, it's about the small moments. The things that make your heart feel lighter, the moments that bring you joy, the passions that stir something deep within you. Example: I once worked with a client who had been constantly stressed and anxious because they were living to meet everyone else's expectations. They'd spent years working a job they didn't love, pursuing a path that wasn't theirs, just to please others. One of the first things we did was ask them to reconnect with their own passions. We started with small exercises, asking them to write down things they used to love doing before the world told them what to focus on. Slowly, they began rediscovering the things that made them feel alive: drawing, hiking, spending quiet moments alone. And it was through these small acts of reconnection that their anxiety started to ease. They weren't living to fulfill someone else's vision of success. They were living in alignment with what felt right for them. Step 2. Engage in practices that ground you. The next step is to bring yourself back into the present moment, where your true self resides. Anxiety often comes from a disconnect with the present, a fear of what might happen in the future. So, to heal, we must practice staying in the here and now. There are many ways to do this. You can start with meditation, which helps center your mind and create space between your thoughts. It's in this space that you'll find clarity. Another great tool is journaling. Writing down your thoughts can help clear your mind and allow you to process what's truly going on inside. Physical movement is also incredibly powerful, whether it's yoga, dancing, or even just walking. Moving your body helps release tension and brings you back to your body, back to the present moment. And here's something I always tell my clients: you don't need to be perfect at these practices. The point isn't to have flawless meditation sessions or to journal for hours. It's about consistency. It's about taking small moments throughout your day to reconnect with your inner peace. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes to live in the present, to be at peace with yourself, and to not let anxiety take the wheel. Step 3. Give yourself permission to let go. Another powerful tool in healing is the simple act of letting go. For many of us, anxiety is driven by our desire to control everything around us. But here's the thing: you cannot control the future. You can only control how you respond to it. The more you try to manage every outcome, the more anxiety will show up. Think about a time when you were obsessing over every detail of a situation, trying to plan for every possibility. How did it feel? Probably exhausting, right? And yet, when you finally let go and allowed life to unfold, you realized that things weren't as scary as you had imagined. The key is to release the need for perfect control. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up, it means embracing the flow of life. It's about trusting that you'll be okay, no matter what happens. Step 4. Live according to your true self, not others' expectations. Healing also involves living in alignment with your true self. Often, we allow the expectations of others to dictate how we live, and that's where the disconnect and anxiety begin. When you stop living for others and start living for yourself, you'll notice a profound shift in your mental and emotional well-being. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I didn't care so much about what others think? What if you made choices based on your own desires and values, instead of trying to meet everyone else's expectations? The more you honor your authentic self, the less anxiety you will feel. Step 5. Practice patience and compassion with yourself. Finally, remember that healing takes time. Don't expect it to happen overnight. Be patient with yourself as you rebuild your connection to who you truly are. The more you practice self-compassion, the more you'll begin to feel whole again. It's normal to have moments of doubt or struggle. What matters is how you respond to those moments. Instead of criticizing yourself or letting anxiety take over, practice kindness. Remind yourself that healing is a process and you are worthy of that time. Conclusion. So, if you're struggling with anxiety, remember this: you can heal. It starts with awareness, it continues with reconnecting to yourself, and it's powered by the small, daily choices you make. Every time you choose to live according to your true self, every time you release control, every time you let go of external expectations, you step further away from anxiety and closer to peace. The journey is yours to take. It's about reclaiming your inner peace and living from a place of authenticity. You are worthy of that peace. You are worthy of living life fully, without anxiety holding you back. Take the first step to ask yourself, what do I truly need to feel at peace? Then, start reconnecting with what makes you feel whole. It's time to break the cycle and begin your healing journey. Thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one small step you're going to take today to reconnect with yourself? Share it in the comments, and remember, you are never alone on this journey. Keep growing, keep evolving, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. See you in the next video. The connection between mind and body. Let's talk about something that many of us overlook when we're dealing with anxiety: deep connection between our mind and body. Anxiety doesn't just live in your thoughts. It has a physical presence in your body. The tension, the stiffness, the discomfort we feel, it's all a reflection of the stress and worrying our minds are carrying. Think about this for a moment. When you're anxious, how does your body react? Are your shoulders tight? Is your jaw clenched? Are you breathing shallowly, as if your chest is caving in? These physical sensations are not just random, they are direct signs of anxiety manifesting in your body. Anxiety doesn't just stay in your head, it spreads throughout your entire system. And here's where things get really interesting. Healing from anxiety isn't just about clearing your mind, it's also about healing your body. Now, let me ask you a question. How often do you take the time to care for your body when you're anxious? How many times have you let your stress pile up until your body is shouting at you to slow down, but you ignore it? It's easy to think that managing anxiety is only a mental exercise, but the reality is that your physical state plays a huge role in how you feel. When we start caring for our bodies, something amazing happens. We send a signal to our minds: it's okay. We're safe. We can let go. The more we nurture our bodies, the easier it becomes to let go of tension and anxiety. And the best part? This is something that can be practiced every day, in small ways, and it has a big impact on your overall well-being. Let's break this down. Physical symptoms of anxiety. Think about the last time you felt really anxious. What did your body feel like? For me, I know that when I'm anxious, I feel a tightness in my chest, my shoulders tense up, and I often find myself holding my breath. I'm not alone, right? These are the physical manifestations of anxiety. When the mind is in overdrive, the body reacts in kind. For example, you might notice that your neck feels stiff, your muscles feel tense, and maybe even your stomach is in knots. These are all signals that your body is reacting to the mental stress you're experiencing. But here's the good news: you don't have to live with this tension. In fact, when you start taking care of your body, whether it's through exercise, nutrition, or getting enough rest, to send a message to your mind: I'm safe. I'm in control. This simple act of caring for yourself physically can significantly reduce the impact of anxiety on your mental state. Exercise, the best stress reliever. Exercise is one of the most effective ways to release built-up tension and reduce anxiety. You don't need to run a marathon to feel the benefit. Simple movements like walking, stretching, or yoga can have a profound impact on both your body and your mind. Think about how you feel after a good workout. Your heart is pumping, your body feels lighter, and your mind feels clearer. That's because exercise releases endorphins, which are the body's natural feel-good chemicals. When you move your body, you help to clear out some of that mental clutter, and you give yourself a chance to breathe and relax. Ask yourself, how often do you move your body when you're feeling anxious? What would happen if you took just 10 minutes a day to stretch, walk, or do some light exercise? Can you imagine how much easier it would be to breathe through your anxiety if your body was relaxed and calm? Nutrition, fueling your body for peace. The food you eat has a huge impact on how your body reacts to stress. When you eat junk food, skip meals, or rely on caffeine and sugar to get through the day, your body is constantly in a state of imbalance. And guess what? That imbalance feeds into your anxiety. On the flip side, when you nourish your body with whole foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, and adequate hydration, you send a message to your body and mind that you care about your well-being. The better you feed your body, the more energy and stability you'll have to face life's challenges. It's like creating a solid foundation for your mental health. Think about this: when you're feeling anxious, have you ever noticed that your cravings change? Maybe you crave comfort food, something that soothes you temporarily, but doesn't help you feel better long-term. Imagine if you could replace those cravings with foods that truly fuel your body, foods that calm your nervous system and give you energy. This shift can be a game changer in how you manage your anxiety. Sleep, recharging your body and mind. One of the most overlooked aspects of managing anxiety is sleep. When we're anxious, we often neglect our need for rest. We stay up late, toss and turn, or wake up feeling drained. But when you don't get enough sleep, your body becomes more vulnerable to stress, and your mind becomes less capable of handling challenges. Good sleep isn't just about getting hours of rest, it's about quality rest. When you sleep well, your body gets the time it needs to repair itself, and your mind gets the reset it needs to function optimally. Ask yourself, how many times have you stayed up late worrying about something, only to wake up the next day feeling more anxious? What would happen if you prioritized your sleep and allowed your body and mind to rest? Breathing, the simple way to calm the mind. Let's not forget the power of breathing. When you're anxious, your breath becomes shallow and quick. You may not even realize it, but your body is signaling that it's in a state of fight or flight mode. Breathing deeply and consciously, however, can activate your body's natural relaxation response. Try this next time you feel anxiety creeping in. Take a deep breath. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale slowly for a count of 6. Do this for a few minutes and notice how your body begins to relax. Breathing deeply calms the nervous system and helps reset your body's stress response. Example: imagine you're in the middle of a busy day. Your mind is racing with thoughts, and you feel overwhelmed. Instead of letting the anxiety build, take a few moments to breathe deeply. Feel the tension melt away as you focus on the air moving in and out of your lungs. You're giving your body the message that it can let go of the tension, and your mind will follow suit. A holistic approach to healing anxiety. Healing anxiety is not just about thinking your way through it, it's about caring for your entire being. Your mind, body, and emotions are all interconnected. When you nurture one part, the others follow suit. So, what's the takeaway here? Take care of your body. Move it, feed it, rest it, and breathe into it. When you care for your body, you send a signal to your mind. You are safe. You are in control. You can relax. Remember this, your body is not just a vessel to carry your thoughts, it is an integral part of your mental health. And the more you nurture it, the more your anxiety will ease. Thank you for being here today. How do you care for your body when you're feeling anxious? What practices help you find calm? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Keep moving forward, keep caring for yourself, and remember, you're not just healing your mind, you're healing your whole being. See you in the next video. The power of the present moment. I want to talk about something that has been a game changer for me and many others in managing anxiety, simple yet profound practice of living in the present moment. Anxiety often arises when we focus too much on the future or dwell on the past. Our minds race with worrying about what's coming next or regret over what has already happened. But here's the truth, the present moment is all we have. When we connect with the here and now, we break free from the endless cycle of worrying. It's in the present moment where life truly unfolds, and when you can learn to accept and embrace this, anxiety begins to lose its grip. Let me ask you this, how many times have you found yourself consumed with anxiety about things that haven't even happened yet? Or replaying past mistakes in your mind, wishing you could change them? It's easy to get caught up in these mental loops, but here's the secret: present moment is where the power lies. And when you live fully in it, anxiety has no place to thrive. Here's an example. Have you ever been so immersed in an activity, something that you truly enjoy, that you lost track of time? Maybe it was a hobby, a conversation with a friend, or even just sitting quietly in nature. In those moments, you felt at peace, right? You weren't thinking about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. You were simply living in the present, and for that brief time, everything felt right. That's the power of the present moment. When you're fully immersed in what's happening now, anxiety can't touch you. Your mind isn't running wild with worrying because you're right here, experiencing life as it unfolds. So, why does the present moment have so much power over anxiety? It's because anxiety lives in the future or the past. It's rooted in what might happen or what has happened. But when you focus on the present, you take back control. You remind yourself that right now, in this moment, you are safe. You don't need to worry about what's coming next or what you could have done differently. Think about it. What if every time you felt that wave of anxiety coming on, you just took a deep breath and reminded yourself, right now, in this moment, I am okay. Right now, I am enough. What if, instead of letting your mind spiral into what ifs or if onlys, you focused on the beauty of what's right in front of you? You'd be surprised at how much power you gain over your anxiety by simply acknowledging the present. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It takes practice, it takes patience, and it takes awareness. But I want you to consider this. What would your life look like if you spent more time in the present? What if you could let go of the mental clutter and fully engage with what's happening now? Imagine how much lighter you'd feel. Step 1. Start with awareness. The first step to embracing the present moment is becoming aware of when your mind starts to drift. Notice when your thoughts wander into worrying about the future or regret about the past. The next time you feel anxiety creeping in, stop and ask yourself, what's happening right now? Is there something in the present moment that you can appreciate? A simple breath, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of your own heartbeat. When you bring your focus to the present, you disrupt the cycle of anxiety. You remind yourself that right now, everything is as it should be. Step 2. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the most effective tools we have to stay anchored in the present. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise without getting lost in them. Try this. Take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath. This simple practice can train your mind to be more present in everyday life, and over time, you'll notice a significant reduction in anxiety. Step 3. Let go of control. A huge part of living in the present is letting go of the need to control everything. We often feel anxious because we want to predict every outcome, control every situation. But here's the thing, life doesn't work that way. There's beauty in the unknown, and there's peace in accepting that not everything is within your control. What if you could let go of the need to have everything figured out? What if you could simply enjoy the ride, trusting that things will unfold as they're meant to? Anxiety thrives when we try to control the uncontrollable. But when we release that control and trust the process, we free ourselves from the grip of anxiety. Step 4. Embrace the small moments. The present moment isn't always about big, life-changing events. Sometimes, it's about appreciating the small, everyday things. It's the warmth of your coffee in the morning, the smile of a stranger, the sound of the rain outside. These small moments are opportunities to reconnect with the present. The more you focus on these simple pleasures, the more you'll realize how much peace exists in the here and now. What if you made a habit of noticing the small things? What if you stopped rushing through life and took time to pause and appreciate the beauty around you? In those moments, you're not thinking about the future or the past, you're simply being. Step 5. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools to bring us back to the present. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your mindset from what you lack to what you already have. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment and helps you appreciate what's right in front of you. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? Take a few moments each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. It could be something as simple as a good conversation or a quiet moment to yourself. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll notice how much peace exists in the present moment. Conclusion: embrace the power of now. So here's the key takeaway. The present moment is your most powerful tool against anxiety. The more you focus on now, the less power anxiety has over you. It's in the present where you can find peace, where you can be fully alive, and where you can let go of the fear of what's next. Remember, the present is all you have. The past is gone, and the future hasn't arrived yet. The more you live in the now, the more you realize that anxiety doesn't stand a chance. What if today you decided to take a step into the present? What if you chose to pause, breathe, and be here right now? Start small and watch how your life begins to shift. Thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What does living in the present mean to you? How have you found peace by focusing on the now? Share with me in the comments, and remember, you are the creator of your own peace. See you in the next video. So, what's the takeaway here? The root cause of anxiety isn't just stress or fear. It's deeper than that. It's about losing touch with yourself, struggling with uncertainty, and often battling your own self-worth and need for control. But here's the good news: you can heal. It starts with reconnecting with yourself. It begins with living fully in the moment and letting go of control. It's a journey, but it's one that you have the power to take. Let me leave you with a thought. What would your life look like if you were no longer burdened by anxiety? What if you could reconnect with who you truly are, release the need to control everything, and live fully in the present? How much lighter would you feel? What would happen if you started to trust the process and let go of all that fear and uncertainty? The decision is yours. Anxiety doesn't define you, it's simply a signal, a sign that you need to reconnect with yourself. I've seen this time and time again. When my clients start reconnecting with their true selves, their anxiety gradually fades away. And it can happen for you, too. But it starts today. It starts with taking that first step. Take back your peace. Take back your joy. Take back your life. Thank you for joining me today on Daily Motivation Secrets. If this message made you think, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. And most importantly, keep believing in yourself. See you in the next video.